Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss about Chandrakanta, the third day of Durga Puja. She represents Agni-Bhuta, the fire element, and the Nabhi chakra. You can see in this picture very clearly, she is surrounded with energy around and she has 10 arms. It is very significant stage in evolution of everyone, including Mata Vaishno Devi, to the higher levels of Goddess Gayatri. Now, as I've been saying very clearly, we are passing through the phase of understanding how did I reach to Divyank level for the first time in the history of mankind in 2015 is because of reincarnation, which I had taken over and over and over to come to this stage. So people who rise in higher education, enlightenment, empowerment through come again and again, and every human being, as he rises higher and higher, he starts represent divine energies in that form in his life as such. And that way reincarnation becomes very important to know the world's evolution. You cannot achieve the highest level of universal consciousness in one life, but you can start the process and move on to higher level as we move on. Now the question is, Goddess Durga with 18 arms are very clear. She was created by the divine nature, energies of all available in the universe. In the universe with 18 arms to completely eliminate the evil and restore conscientiousness or righteousness or dharma in the universe. In the process, I've also shown she is a perfect reflection of periodic table. In this picture, you can see very clearly two aspects in the periodic table. One is the red line of 7 periods, which is very important from 0, 1 to 7 and divine mathematics, and also the 18 groups, which have a 3 components, 2, 10 and 18. And I think I understood the spiritual science very clearly from Ved, Upanishad to other scriptures to the modern science with the divine mathematics, physics and chemistry, seeing both of them going parallel and parallel. Even the search of science is to become the perfect, the way Divyank is talked about, or Akhand Vidyashram is talking about, which Veds are talking about, which Upanishads are talking about. That bridge is what Akhand is all about. Now, having been created to get over all the evil in the universe from all the demons by and large, Goddess Durga decided to dissolve the body in the energy form and take birth in human form as such. And that is a step which is very important to understand. Entire thing what we see in Sagar Manthan is also the reflection of something which has come from the universe to the earth into the water, and from the water is being regained again. You are going to see as we move on to new books for the world from 0 level to higher as we move on. But dissolution of the universal energy falling in with the water right up to the earth and then rising again, you are going to see as we move on. Now, having that energy fallen on earth on Akhand Bharat, then she took birth in Kanyakumari at the lowest part of Akhand Bharat, where 3 oceans meet, Arabian Ocean, Bengal, as well Indian Ocean. And then from there she moves on to Trikuta mountain, where she is there meditating to reach higher level of consciousness. We are going to see that. In Trikuta mountain, 3 mountains made me realize this is Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, and also Saraswati, Mahalakshmi and Mahakali. And Divyank is that the 22 by 21 represent Brahma, 10 is represent Vishnu, and 0.33 is Panchabhuta of Shiva. These are the 3 concepts which lead to this divine mathematics, and inscriptions were there in Veds, Upanishads and scriptures. And finally I found it through my own realization within the body, and with the help of the modern equipment to find this precise number very clearly in 2015. This is the first step which I learned by I had taken birth in Katra in Trikuta mountain. Then Mata Vaishno Devi showed me very clearly there are three pindis or three idol ships. Maha Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and Mahalakshmi. All the three aspects like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Saraswati, Lakshmi and Mahakali are three trinities which are absolutely essential for everyone to understand what it is. Then goddess Durga on one side or Dattatreya on one side. Put together, these are the 8 things which made me realize these are the core things which are represented in Divyang. And same wisdom is there in the statue of Mata Vaishno Devi, which I had the pleasure to see and write about it 2 books in 2008. This is a 5.5 statue with Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh with 500, and this concept is very clear, and that is realized that is Mata Vaishno Devi, that is Durga, that is this, that is represent is in the divine mathematics in the form of Divyang. I am able to show how precise are the numbers as such. Then Mata Vaishno Devi is shown with 8 arms. This also made me realize that she is the Agni-Bhuta, oxygen 8, and only with oxygen things can move, otherwise things cannot move. That's the beginning stage of evolution as such. When oxygen is there, there is Agni, there is Yajna, and that over it goes to Vayu and Akash, but less Agni, that it becomes water and solid as such. So that is also representation very, very clear. Then there are 10 Mahavidyas which we all talk about it, and in the process you are seeing the 10 pictures around Durga itself. So they represent 10 days of Goddess Durga, and I would stick to that as a 10 Mahavidyas which Mata Vaishno Devi is teaching to me as her son to see what it is all about. What are these duties? These deities are representing within the human body is something which I am trying to explain in the last 4 days. Then first, as I told you, Mata Vaishno Devi is oxygen with 8 arms. She is meditating to represent to higher levels of consciousness to goddess Gayatri, which is the neon 21 with 10 protons, 11 electrons and 10 electrons. These 31 divided by 3 is equivalent to 10.34419. That's it. That's the divine mathematics. Nothing happens without that. And it is neon 21 which started the universe, merged together to become neon 21 with the energy, and everything has come in 10 stages from that level. I think that knowledge also I got it from goddess with this particular picture, where lotus represent Brahma and 10 arms represent Vishnu and 5 heads represents Lord Shiva's Panchabhutas. And I think, and same thing behind, there is sun and entire universe as such, including water, energy, everything is represented. This is a phenomenal picture which I have learnt ever since my childhood and come to this stage, because this symbolic representation of Murti Puja, idol worship, is the one we should look at the knowledge which is there. It is not a fragmentation, imagination of the people. And I am talking only of the one which are done by the people who are in tune with the universal consciousness. Then I talked about goddess Gayatri, the very clear, the first Mahavidya, and its Mooladhara Chakra and the solid element of 38.196. She is the daughter of Himalaya. As a result, she represents ice form, core ice form, and that's the first day itself of Shailputri, the daughter of Himalayas. That means solid element of 38.196%. I think that is a phenomenal awareness of Mahavidya. This is solid element, the matter world. And from there we are going to go to water, and then Agni, and then Vayu, then Akash, and then extrasensory perception to the higher levels. You are going to see as we move on. Now, as this, I told you the solid element of earth is 38.96%, and that is what it is going to go up as we move on. And this is how I have shown in Sat Chakra Nirupana. Its sound is 4 petals, Lam sound, and Akhand Sutra's work and medical science have shown you very clearly how beautifully is Muladhara Chakra with 7 layers, which I did show you in periodic table 2. Now come to the question. Second part was Brahmacharni, the second day of Durga Puja, and she represents water and Swadhisthana Chakra as such. She also represents Venus as such. Now come to the question. This is how Swadhisthana shows. Muladhara has got 4 and this has got 6. That is Lam, this is Vam, and this is what representation I have got, and this is the medical science. All three put together have shown that what is in Satchakra, what is in Akhand, and what is in modern science is same thing, represent is same picture as Swadhisthana. Once all that is put together, we bridge the gap. Only that the wisdom can come to the impeccable wisdom which I am talking about. And this is a picture you can see 4 to 6, Lam to Vam, and with the water element, and also the indwelling crescent form as such. And this is my representation of 4 plus 6 is equal to 10, and how evolution comes to the stage. What is next going to come? You're going to see as we move on. Then come to the question of discussion for the day is Chandrakanta. As I told you the picture very clearly, see now look at this picture very clearly. That's the third day of Durga Puja, and I have written its Agni-Bhuta. First was solid element 38.196 as an ice or the matter and mineral kingdom. The second was water 61.8034 put together. Only then energy would come to play a role. But in this picture backside you can see all the ocean, all the sun, all the universe, all the planets. You can see the moon, you can see the sun, you can see everything, you can see the energy form, everything by and large. And you see her also with 10 arms. 10 arms shows that you have come to energy at that particular stage, that you are proceeding towards from 8 to 10. I think that was something which is correct. But at the same time, I have written fire element. I have also written Nabhi Chakra. Now we are going to see her association with the physical body to Nabhi Chakra. First one, Shailputri, was with Muladhara Chakra, which is the base part where the autonomic nervous system and endocrine system start. Second was testosterone, ovaries, testes put together, reproductive sign. Third, to a higher level, comes to Nabhi Chakra, which is adrenal gland. We are going to see that how from first stage to the second stage and third stage, how evolution is going to increase, and how this Dasavatar or Dasa Mahavidyas actually are showing the signs of evolution of the whole consciousness in the entire universe, not only human being. Now in this particular picture you can see the picture of Satchakra Nirupana with 10 letters, with the triangle falling down, and the devolution of consciousness. Energy is coming from top right up to bottom, and that's it. And the picture of Akhand Sutra are by Shivbhushan Sharma is also seen, but I am relating that with adrenal gland. This is a picture of adrenal gland, and it says center of emergency, come what may. This center will make sure that you will never die at all. And what's that is understood mean she is meditating to transform her solid form into the water and water into Agni, so that she can move on to higher and higher levels of consciousness to reach the Mahagayatri level. Now looking at the adrenal gland, that is the gland on top of the kidneys. Very clear, you can see the structure. You have the capsule, you have the cortex, 3 layers, you have the medulla, and you have the blood vessels. This picture you're going to see how beautiful is this, designed by nature, that as you wake up, you are conscious, you go to sleep and sleep in Muladhara Chakra. When you wake up, you go to Swadhisthana chakra. After that, you in emergency go to adrenal gland only when you need to be saved, come what may be. And now I'm going to show you how beautiful is the energy of evolution in goddess Mata Vaishno Devi or Durga too. Now in this picture you can see the blood is going to come from outside renal artery into the capsule, into the adrenal gland. You see the first layer, zona glandulosa. It produces mineralocorticoids which are required for absorption of water and sodium and excretion of potassium. So it maintains the blood volume, blood pressure, everything clearly. The second level is glucose. It produces glucocorticoids and steroids as well as glucose. You have the water, you have the sodium, you have the chloride, you have the glucose, you have corticosteroid. These are absolutely essential for survival. When you go to the same blood inside goes to the third layer, reticularis, it produces adrenal and androgens. That means testosterone, estrogen is produced there. So you can understand the importance of testosterone is so much steroid that all the three are steroids only. They are formed from cholesterol to mineralocorticoids and then glucocorticoids, then to this. So importance is known. Only then the blood goes to adrenal medulla to produce catecholamines or adrenaline, noradrenaline, which are sympathomimetic hormone to give you survival at the last stage. Even if you lose blood accidentally, up to 1 liter of blood can be rectified by the adrenal itself by mobilizing whole thing and also to make the blood stop completely, coagulate completely, mobilize the whole thing, and I think that way this particular organ designed so beautifully that is preparing you to go to the higher levels as we move on. I think that is the interesting part. So seeing those Mahavidyas, Dasavatara of Vishnu, and seeing the concept with the organic structure of adrenal gland as such, I think is a beautiful knowledge to know how to prevent all the problems, never suffer, never have a disease, and have no deficiency of health, wealth, wisdom, and happiness. This center will give you all what is required, including intelligence, including intuition, including energy to go and go more and more into the universal consciousness. I think you are going to see that as we move on. Now these are the structures which I have seen very clearly, the type of cells they are, the kind of things they produce. I think once it is understood, we can go on to the next stage much more clearly. Then the hormones which I told you is again in this is first lane mineralocortical, regulate minerals, valence, aldosterone, zone cortisol, as well as glucose. The dehydrogen, D is androgens like testosterone, estrogen, and then adrenal medulla for epinephrine or adrenaline as such to give you sympathomimetic. Such a beautiful venous system or portal system within one organ designed in such. So if there is a deficiency of steroid, the blood is moving, then your quality to have extra energy will also be deficient. I have shown that also in this, and you're going to see much more as we go on to write the records for the world from beginning to the end. So the world will have to see those videos hereafter. After Vijayadashmi, knowledge for the world is going to be defined very clear without any mistake. So I think this is what is preparing for that. Now come to the question of the next stage. Aldosterone is a cell appears normal, then these are the different things which give it. And cortisols for stress, androgens for energy, and then adrenaline and noradrenaline, their functions are very well written here. And once that is understood, only then you maintain adrenal gland very clearly. Anyone who meditates on the Navi, umbilical cord, would understand Apana of I3 Upanishad very, very clearly. And also see the people who have reached very high level of consciousness, have the power, can survive even the hands of the divine forces, are the one with perfect adrenal gland, or Navi chakra, or the concept of third, or Chandrakanta by and large. So she is going to reach that level that she can kill anyone, and that you're going to see in this particular picture. Second thing, you have seen the blood loss and survival. As I told you, once there is loss up to 1 liter, this can mobilize very clearly by mobilizing the water, sodium, glucose, everything into scent, and then whole thing how the different parts work together, lungs, also your liver, angiotensin converting enzyme, everything is very clearly shown, and you're going to see that already shown. We will see much more as we reach that level in detailed wisdom by and large. This is only a trailer. Picture is going to come. This is what survival is. Now this particular picture you show very clearly how things work out very well. What are the three things coming up, and how physiology, cholesterol has 27 protons, and from there how they come to 11 protons, again same divine mathematics, and how you go on further to go on to realize that this is strength which is required for us to move on. So from that angle, I think we are going to understand the beauty of umbilical cord, beauty of Navi chakra, adrenal gland, emergency by and large. Now I am going to give you one example from Ramayana period and show how beautiful were things during Treta Yuga itself. And this is a picture of Navi chakra. You can see Ravan with 10 heads. And even Lord Rama could not kill Ravana. Why? The king Ravana had a perfect adrenal gland, and unless until Lord Rama was told by Vibhishan, you cannot kill Ravan at all. His whole life is in Navi chakra. If you want to kill him, you got to attach his umbilical cord, Navi chakra, and once you break the connection of the blood to the adrenal gland, and only you will be able to kill him. Till such time you cannot kill him. You only anytime fall, he'll wake up and do that. I think the beautiful example which our stories have, I have gone on record to say, I have learned better science, better mathematics, better chemistry, better physics, better medical sciences, better biology from Ved, Upanishad and Akhand Bharat's scriptures in Sanskrit. And I make it very clear. Only when you are in tune with universal consciousness, you see how beautiful were those Brahmins who wrote those stories, who gave that wisdom so precise and concise, and something which had never been seen. And that beauty was given in Satya Yuga in the form of Ved, and Treta Yuga as Upanishads, and then Gita, Mahabharata, etc. And then today we are doing again. And that's what I said. Whenever there is a deficiency in consciousness in Akhand Bharat, divine forces will take birth in different forms and come to rectify the whole thing. And that's how the divinity is all understood in Akhand Bharat and in Sanatana Dharma completely. So now you can understand, anyone who has a very strong Navi chakra has very powerful apana, because it gets everything from inside outside only through the umbilical cord, and that is the beauty of Aitreya Upanishad which I am talking about. And unfortunately, no one other than Shiv Bhushan Sharma could decode that wisdom of one thing which was written thousands of years ago. And everybody said nobody understands apana as the one which is going to receive the food. People forget it is not a spontaneous creation of man as such. Man has arisen, and this particular thing is a creation of the cosmic Purusha as a growing fetus in the umbilical, in the uterus of the mother, and then its expulsion and receiving of food comes only through apana, that is umbilical cord. I think that is the kind of knowledge which is required for the world to see. Now only ancient Indian wisdom of Veda, Upanishads and scriptures, in the light of modern sciences, we can rectify all the defects and show how beautiful are these pictures. We should not take them as a religion. They are the spiritual science way of life. I do not see Sanatana Dharma as a religion. It is a beautiful spiritual science. It is much more stronger in mathematics, physics, chemistry, yantra, mantra, tantra, ganit, everything is there. but it's only for the someone who is in tune with universal consciousness. And the world needs that today, because we have come to very important stage of very dynamic equipments, and system is very powerful. Now with AI and other things, talking of only spirituality which I am talking about, the whole world will get a perfect knowledge without even a single defect, which is not available. And I think these videos will slowly and steadily prepare the world with the kind of videos step by step, from descent of Shakti right up to the greatest creation over a period we are going to do after Vijayadashmi day. Be prepared to see, and the world needs to read that and nothing other than that, and that is spiritual science integrated way of life. And now from that I move on to the next stage, to this picture. I have already spoken, I think, enough for the day. I think we move on to the next stage, fourth level, tomorrow, as the one which goes on. I think I'm really enjoying the whole flow, how whole universal consciousness, these scriptures were written so beautifully in this picture. And I think that's enough for the day. Thank you very much.